Right, guys, welcome to Retro&Modern, where we play chucklebugs of electronics.
Or in this case, kinda electronics.
But it is electronics. Look, it's a Ninja dual zone. See, 2 individuals. If you don't count, you can count with the numbers on the handles.
Yes.
All on this. See? Right, bought this eBay, obviously 40. Well, power it up.
Depending on something, do match and go both of them.
Yeah.
Start it. Oh no. It doesn't recognise the doors are closed.
That one
It's temperamental.
we know is temperamental. This one doesn't work at all. Except if you do some sort of weird jiggle like that.
And then they both work.
They both work.
Yeah. But then when you close it, it doesn't recognise it again. You have to do it again.
If you're lucky, pick the right place and I'll go again.
Which isn't a fix.
So I think that one probably doesn't work again after because you've told it to match.
To match it, yeah.
So it's not a fix. I'll take the board may as well.
Yeah. But
of no use to us as well.
We did look into it and other people have been having the same problems.
Some of them straight from the factory.
Yeah. Basically, you have a little switch. If I can get a pokey thing to show people.
We're going to be needing a screwdriver anyway.
Yes.
Have a pokey.
So what you have with this ingenious bit of engineering and fat on the bottom of this one, you have this little peg here, which slides across, and there's a little switch in there. And that one's actually seemingly got a bit jammed, but this screwdriver, that's no good. I need something smaller. I do. But basically, it hits down 2 micro switches. And it's not making a connection because it doesn't always seem to reach.
Which explains why you can do the little jolt down when it's suddenly kicks in. Right.
Which means the switch works. It's just...
And we have actually tried pushing it down manually.
And it does work.
And it does.
Which actually we can actually show.
Yeah, we can show you.
Just to show that we're not being idiots.
Well...
With nothing in there,
probably are.
You push the switch and it will work. And it detects when it's off. It works every time. But, so basically, the bottom of the drawer isn't pushing it down properly.
Yeah.
So, let's get it open.
You unplugged it.
Just about to.
Just, well, because we're us, really.
Yeah.
We are the type of people that would...
Tri-wings there.
Go in there.
Down there.
That's not tri-wing.
Nope. Your Phillips is there, and there. And then you have tri-wing screws, because Ninja decides to be awkward, all around the outside edge and under here where they won't be able to see that well.
What can I? Right there.
That's a tri-wing, so one here. One there.
Oh.
To the top here.
Now we have
already
seen, I was going to say,
yes,
some people have, is that all of them?
That's all the Phillips.
Put that there.
One,
two. Drawing.
Do you want me to do these ones?
Yeah, you can do these. To you.
Yeah, to me. But yeah, people have been doing a very interesting bodge.
Yeah, I've seen one, well, I haven't told you about actually, where someone, you know that slot?
Yes.
He stuck a bit of polystyrene in it.
Yeah.
Same effect, it's going to force the switch down a bit further.
People put tape across the bottom and
Off the drawer, yeah.
Yes.
Again, effectively makes it move a little bit further, which gave us our idea.
which we will get to once this is opened.
Yeah. Be patient. You lot can be patient because we're not.
Yes. Oh, this one's paying. There it is.
As soon as it's come through the door, oh yes. And it was actually in its original box, which is
Very nice.
yeah. We didn't pay too much for it.
No.
Well, I don't.
That's not there. Yes, more. Yeah, there's one there. Yeah, it's very much a case of feeling and not seeing with some of these screws. What I can say for once is that your view isn't any better than ours. And
More sharp.
or worse.
Yeah.
No, this isn't exactly the nicest way of.
There's one there, one
here.
I don't even say there's one there because I can see it all shine.
Yeah.
We are hoping that our fix is a nice, good fit.
Wow.
For us,
Yeah.
so we can get another win on our channel.
Yes.
Well, that's a loss.
Good.
Not really jump.
One there.
It's probably going to take us longer to put screws in now.
Then to fix.
Yeah.
Looks like you missed a Phillips. Well, it's potentially. It's hard to see from this angle.
Hello.
Oh no, there's nothing in there. Yeah. Yeah, I undone the other screw this time. There's actually a second screw in there. This one. And that one. And that should be all of them. All 2,592 screws.
Thingy
Thingy-majiggy.
is this it's plastic. That's going to
Yes.
give you something.
Good thing is, once you've done a layer of them, you can just do that. Right. So here we go. That's how they work. So when the bit goes in, it tilts that back and pushes on the micro switches.
Inside this black bit here, there's a mic switch.
Yes.
Right. I'll take the trial and you can take that. Phillips again.
Open this one up. Oh, and our camera's fallen. Hello, Mr. Camera. What are you doing that for, eh? Bastard.
Ah, it's actually touching the back and it's shaking it a little bit.
One.
Okay, these are dipping again.
Yes.
I'll put them in your thing.
We will be honest, we have already opened this. We've already actually technically fixed it and then undone what we did because we are giving away the fix to everyone for free.
It's just a 3D print. Oh.
Yes. That out. Mic switch comes off. Last screw comes out. And now we can get a good look at the little piece, which is this. This is the original one, which is moulded and it's all right. And now, if you want to show them
this is our fix.
So what we've got is an extended section at the top there, where we're thin
out. The system will point it out.
Yes. And that pokes through into the actual channel, allowing the basket to actually hit the switch sooner. And therefore,
push it a fraction more in.
Yeah, pushes it more in, makes a connection. Now, unfortunately, putting it together is actually a pain in the backside.
Yeah.
Because what you have to do is you hold that up, and then you put the switch back in place, and then you can let go of the other bit.
Hold that way.
And then I just need a screw.
That's what I decided to hold that for you, because I realised I put the screws out of your reach.
Like I say, this file that we have designed will be in the description on Thingiverse, so you can download it and print it yourself. And if you don't have a 3D printer and you have one, you can ask someone else to print it for you. Just make sure that 3D printer actually works.
Yeah, the reason we say that is your brother.
Yes, but this is designed as a
Not as good.
yeah. Obviously, we've designed this and printed this on our Bamboo Labs P1S. So
Not sponsored.
no, but our printer is pretty much dialed in. So
It's dialed in.
You may have to, you know, change the scale a little bit if your printer doesn't print perfectly.
And orientate it, probably because we didn't, did we?
Yes.
You have to orientate it on the, because we got a print.
Yes.
What we can tell you, it doesn't take much.
No.
Um,
In fact, I can tell you how much filament it takes. With support, it took us a total of 2.69 grams of filament.
oh, well, actually, the last time I printed it, reckoned it only did 2.58.
No. Yeah, but it says itself it's 2.69.
Although that's probably done the purge line as well.
Yes. So all in all, it was like
We're not talking a lot.
7p of filament. You know.
I'm taking that just rests in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, well, let's take the other one off. When we first got this, we did try it, as you said, and the one on the right, number 2,
is temperamental.
Was temperamental and did occasionally
work.
Occasionally work.
But we're replacing both because if one's already completely failed and the other one's been temperamental.
I mean, we'll keep.
Now you can see that ours does go higher up in the slot on the video there. You can see ours is a lot higher in the slot.
Yeah.
But ours is designed so when the basket's fully in, it fully presses it and it works seemingly flawlessly. It was actually the first time we've replaced both of them because originally we printed one to confirm.
But we're assuming, I should really assume.
We are assuming that they are just identical, which they do look pretty much identical. So again, there's the original one, which, this one probably didn't work because the amount of fat has gone through. Because someone has actually managed to get fat on the bottom of the basket.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I don't think they cleaned it properly.
You can even hold that up again, aren't you?
Yes. You can just rest your thumb. You need to move that finger because your finger's in the way there. Yeah.
Another one's that.
And I will take a screw. It's only one.
Yeah. All good.
Screw this back in.
That all goes well.
Now, in my opinion, and again, we're not professional designers. We do it as a hobby. I've done it as a hobby for years. You've printed stuff as a hobby for years.
Yeah, I'm showing my age there.
But
I'll tell you what, I wish 3D printers were around when I was in my retro era, using the old Commodore and Amigas and that. Because I don't know if you know, remember the old Commodore bread bin one?
Yes.
When you take the lid off, the clips at the back were constantly breaking.
Yeah.
And a lot of my mates used to like use tape and whatnot.
Yes.
Hold it together.
Yeah. But yeah,
so you can just print a new.
In my opinion, again, not saying anyone done anything wrong because I'm not a professional. But in my opinion, the mistake they made was they've made it perfect for the ideal scenario for it to make contact.
Yeah.
So what's obviously happening if it's not ideal situations, if it's not.
Oh, I see.
Yes. But, so if it's not perfectly sat in there, you don't have enough weight in there, it's just not triggering it.
Yeah. So I was looking because I was trying to see where one of these on the other side was for holding the wire, but it's not this one's quite a way away, and that's really close.
Yes. But yes, so, but again, like I said, I'm not saying they've done it wrong, but I think the designers, when they done it, designed it for the perfect scenario. And because, well, like I say, we've seen people that have said they've had this from word go. You know, they bought it brand new in box, took it out.
We can only assume that
people are being honest.
I mean, why would you fib about it anyway?
Yeah.
It's.
But.
That looks like that's supposed to have a foot.
I know, but it's missing.
I think it did originally.
It probably did originally, but right, I'll put that on in a bit.
Right, so you want.
I would like the. We'll do the Phillips first. I still got the Phillips in here. But yeah, well, I'm not saying they designed it wrong, but it appears like they've designed it for the perfect scenario. And maybe some of these, when they are moulding them, are coming out just a fraction short, and they're just not making a good connection.
It depends on quality control as well.
Yes. I used to work, I'm not going to say where the actual places I worked because I haven't asked them, is okay. But I used to work for a push buggy manufacturer who may or may not have had all their pushchairs assembled in China. And we used to have it all the time where it was just some of them were faulty because the moulding wasn't quite right or the aluminium was, yeah. You know,
I used to work in a place. I'm not allowed to say what it is, not just because I'm not got permission, because I had to sign something to say I've never sent anything.
Yes,
but
that may or may not have an acronym similar to a PDA.
Yeah, we weren't obviously not allowed to say anything, but
I've already put a screw in there. Yeah.
We had some stuff in there that the tolerance was so tight.
Yeah.
Literally a tenth of a mil out, and it wouldn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Which, in what we were doing while I was in there, you can't actually afford for it not to work.
I mean, it's with everything. Anything that's made has a tolerance. And, you know,
you shouldn't make it light.
No. If they manufacture these in-house, then I would suggest that they check their moulding equipment. If they manufacture it overseas in a country that may or may not start with C, end in Heine.
Go to
if they manufacture the parts in a place that may or may not start with C, end in Heine, then I would suggest that they may want to audit and make sure that their tolerances aren't widely out.
Well, I'm always one for adding just a little bit of leeway in things, more tolerance. Because if you get too close, it's very hard. I mean, a good example of this is with 3D printing.
Yes.
If you go, oh yeah, well that slot's 5 mil thick, so bubble wire.
Yeah.
I'll just make my part 5 mil.
It won't fit.
It won't always fit. Sometimes it might. You'll be lucky if it does.
Yeah.
But because there's no extra give there, whereas if you take, say, 0.2 of a mil off, that gives it a bit of free movement.
Yes.
And then able to fit into the slot.
Like I say, we're not professionals at designing products, but you know, we do have an interest in how things are made, and we may or may not also have certain ideas about where some of this stuff is made, that their quality isn't as good as it would have been if it was manufactured by the company themselves.
Well, I mean, I used to work at a place where we would actually have this item.
Yes.
And it went to 2 different places with different names on it.
Yes.
But it was the same item in reality. The only difference is it was printed on the outside.
Yeah. Oh, we used to have the same thing. We used to have certain limited edition models that were just a different colour. That was it. That was the difference. And we would charge an arm and a leg for the fact that it was a
you
different
charge
colour.
more for the one with a different name, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that.
Because it was a luxury product, we say.
We had issues where we sold like 1,000 of this one product. And we had a new salesperson, and they didn't know that if you put the other name on it, you charged an extra 25% on top.
Yeah.
So he made a sale and did it at a normal price, and yeah, got a roasting for selling it 25% too cheap.
Wait, this should be two.
Oh, yeah, that's for the little cover thing.
Yes. Which just. Oh,
The
okay.
mains cable. That's quite nice.
Which, actually, one thing I will do, they've actually included strain relief, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not completely slagging them off.
No, I mean,
that was nice.
This is a Ninja. I must admit, honestly, I don't know too much about them. I know they do lots of things. They do the Ninja Foodi, and
yes,
luckily I heard something about you were saying something about them doing
Ninja
ice cream and
yes
stuff. Have I not got it?
Yeah,
I'll put it in pound of 41. Yeah. We like to buy things 40, fix them up, and then
we feel better about keeping them.
Yeah. I mean, we don't make anything out of this.
No.
We've got no sponsors. No.
The channel's too small for us to make any money from views, and to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. No. It's more just having fun, seeing how things work, and coming up with something that we might come up with that other people might not come up with.
Right, so forward.
Now, we'll probably end up knocking the camera because the camera's dropped quite a way, so I will just adjust the camera a little bit beforehand.
I tell you what, I wish people would clean things
before selling them.
Sending them out.
Yes.
So,
right, if you could just hold that arm for me for a second, just so I can swing this up. That's it.
And it can rest on there.
And then it can rest back on there, yes.
Right.
And then we can plug it back in.
Now, if all goes well,
both drawers will now work. You can see the difference. Ours is now right up here at the top of the slot. Theirs was quite... Oh, there's grease in that one. That one still want to work perfectly because it feels like...
Grease in there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of grease in that one. That one needed probably a clean. This one works lovely. So that one, we will have to just open it back up and give it a clean, or maybe put something in there and just...
And deoxit won't work.
Yeah. But we will look at that, but
that's
the video's more about the actual fault, not the fact that someone's
turn it on. Right, let's see. Moment of truth.
There we go.
Look at that. Straight in. Whips a bit better as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Nothing right at all.
So we can check the other side, but we already know it's going to potentially have a bit of an issue because, well, the other one was a bit. The fact that this one has actual fat on the bottom,
yeah,
somehow.
What's my hand? I'm going to get back there. You're in a trade but that doesn't matter.
I match them up. I'll put it to start. It'll say show.
That proves that can work.
And it does work.
Because either one comes out, it should stop.
Yes. It's working. Yes, we've made it a bit tighter. You do have to sort of give it a bit.
That's the problem.
It's not, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot of play. It's just, yeah, you can't, it's not going to be as, you know, you have to give it a little bit of practice. But to be fair,
that's what it should have been in the first.
It should have been a lot tighter. And as you can see now, we don't have that up-down bounciness as much.
So there you go, guys. It's fixed. Do look at the file if you want to repair yours.
Yes.
Obviously, this isn't a how-to.
No, but we've designed the part. We're giving it away for free because...
And if you want to use it, it's down to you. But if it does help you, then
let us know.
Give us a comment. It'd be nice to actually hear that someone else has tried it and said, yes, it works.
And hopefully, when you open yours up, if you bought yours used, you won't have fat that's inside because that's grim. I reckon someone probably killed something a bit fatty, took it out, put it in hot water, and then didn't remember the fact that oil and water doesn't mix, and it's ended up everywhere. But there we go, guys. Another one done. Another win.
Yay! About time we had a win.
And a free file. Yeah. Bye for now.